The first time Lily Parker realized adults could be cruel for sport, she was standing too still. She was 8 years old, pale-haired, thin-shouldered, her backpack hanging from one strap like an afterthought. Her mother, Sarah Parker, was on her knees a few steps behind her, changing a trash liner beside a long table of men in dark suits. The room smelled like polished stone, expensive cologne, and fear. "Fix this, kid," Dr. Grant Whitaker said, without even looking at her. His finger jabbed toward the wall of screens behind him, sharp and dismissive, as if shooing a fly. "And I'll give you $100 million. Laughter exploded. Not polite laughter, not nervous laughter. The kind that ripples because people don't want to be the last one not laughing. 200 investors, global partners, cameras streaming live to the world, and one billionaire CEO smiling as if he just invented a joke that would age beautifully. Lily didn't move. Her fingers curled tighter around the strap of her backpack. She could feel her mother's fear before she felt her hand. "Lily," Sarah whispered urgently, gripping her arm, "we're leaving." But Dr. Whitaker was already leaning forward, enjoying himself now. "Maybe," he continued, his voice slick with mock curiosity, "a child can solve what my MIT and Harvard graduates can't." More laughter, louder this time. The live stream counter in the corner of the main display ticked upward. 2 million viewers. Then more. Phones across the room vibrated as clips were already being cut, captioned, shared. Behind Whitaker, North Star Dynamics' core AI system burned red across 40 screens. Error messages stacked like falling dominoes. For 3 days, the company's autonomous vehicle intelligence had been failing. Cars misjudging distances, emergency braking where none was needed, accidents, injuries, 4 deaths, stock value down $3 billion in 72 hours. This meeting was supposed to stop the bleeding. Instead, it had become a public execution. Dr. Whitaker, a man in the front row, said coldly, his Midwestern accent sharp. "Mark Caldwell, CEO of one of North Star's largest automotive partners. Your system killed people in Chicago yesterday." The room shifted. Whitaker's smile tightened. "We're experiencing temporary technical difficulties." "Temporary?" someone muttered. Behind him, 50 engineers sat hunched over laptops, eyes bloodshot, shoulders slumped. Degrees from the best schools, salaries that could buy houses outright, and nothing to show for it. Dr. Allison Reed, North Star's lead architect, stepped forward. Her hands were shaking. "We've tried everything," she said quietly. "Neural restructuring, full algorithm rewrites, rolling back updates. The system keeps failing." On the far side of the room, Lily watched the screens. No one noticed. They were too busy watching each other, too busy calculating losses, reputations, exit strategies. Sarah finished tying the last trash bag, her movements mechanical, practiced after 20 years of cleaning offices like this one. She had seen brilliance. She had seen arrogance. She had learned the difference early. Lily had learned something else. She'd grown up under desks and behind server racks. She'd learned to read from discarded manuals, learned logic from half-heard arguments between exhausted engineers who didn't know she was listening. While other children learned lullabies, she fell asleep to the hum of cooling fans. Now her eyes moved across the code like they were reading a familiar language. Patterns, repeating, wrong. Whitaker paced. "This is why standards matter," he said loudly. "Real engineering requires elite education. Intelligence isn't something you pick up by accident." His gaze flicked to Lily, then past her, as if she barely existed. "You can't walk in off the street and understand complex systems?" Sarah straightened slowly. She wanted to speak. 20 years of silence pressed against her throat. But Lily moved first. "Mom," she said softly. "Wait." Sarah's heart dropped. "Lily, no." Lily took a step forward. The room noticed. 200 heads turned as one. "Excuse me," Lily said. The silence that followed was not kind. Whitaker sighed theatrically. "Not now, sweetheart. The adults are working." "I think I know what's wrong," Lily said. Someone snorted. A few chuckles followed. Cameras zoomed in, hungry. "That's adorable," Whitaker said. "But this isn't a coloring book problem." "It's not broken," Lily said. Her voice didn't shake. "It's confused." That stopped the typing. Dr. Reed froze. Slowly, she looked up. "What do you mean?" she asked before she could stop herself. Lily pointed to the main screen. "You're telling the computer to do things when you mean to ask it questions?" Whitaker laughed sharply. "Well, that's not how—" "It is," Lily interrupted. "Not rude, certain. See? That line." Dr. Reed followed Lily's finger, a single line buried in thousands. Her breath caught. "That's—" That's an assignment, Reed whispered. Not a comparison. Lily nodded. You're saying do this, not should we do this? The computer thinks you want it to change things, not check them. The room leaned forward. Dr. Reed's fingers trembled as she made one small change. One symbol, one keystroke. Enter. For a heartbeat, nothing happened. Then the error slowed, then stopped. Red turned to yellow, yellow to green. Within 60 seconds, the system stabilized. Perfectly. A murmur rolled through the room like distant thunder. Lily smiled just a little. Sometimes computers just want you to ask nicely. Whitaker stared at the screens as if reality had betrayed him. That's impossible, he said hoarsely. Dr. Reed pulled up diagnostics. Response time is up 40%, she said. Error rate is 0. Phones exploded. Messages flew. Stock tickers surged. Whitaker turned to Lily, his face flushing. That was luck. Lily tilted her head. But you didn't see it. The words landed harder than any insult. Dr. Reed crouched beside Lily. How did you notice that? You were all looking at the hard parts, Lily said. The mistake was in the easy part. Nobody checks the easy parts. Whitaker stepped forward sharply. That's enough. This is a professional environment. Mark Caldwell stood. With respect, Dr. Whitaker, that child just did what your team couldn't in 3 days. The room shifted again, this time away from Whitaker. Sarah reached for Lily's hand, overwhelmed by the attention, the cameras, the weight of it all. We should go. No, Caldwell said. I think we should listen. Whitaker felt the ground slipping, and Lily hadn't even started yet. She looked back at the screens, her brow furrowing slightly. There are more places like that, she said. Whitaker's voice cracked. No. Are you afraid she'll find them? Caldwell asked. The question hung there, sharp and unforgiving. Lily looked up at Whitaker, not with anger, not with pride, but with quiet curiosity. Do you want me to show you? She asked. And as the cameras zoomed closer, as millions leaned in from their screens, one question pressed itself into the room, heavy and unavoidable. What happens when the person with the answer is the one no one ever planned to listen to? The room never fully recovered from that first silence. It fractured instead. Voices overlapped. Chairs shifted. Phones came out openly now. No one pretending this was still a controlled presentation. Dr. Grant Whitaker stood at the center of it all, smiling too tightly, clapping once as if applause might reset reality. Well, he said, forcing a laugh, that was entertaining. Lily Parker was already looking back at the screens. Dr. Allison Reed straightened slowly, her eyes no longer on Whitaker, but on the data flooding in. System performance held steady. No relapses. No phantom errors. The fix was real. Dr. Whitaker, Mark Caldwell said, calm but firm, we need to talk about the other systems. Whitaker waved a dismissive hand. One coincidence doesn't rewrite engineering standards. Anyone could have spotted that eventually. Lily turned toward him, not challenging, curious. But you didn't. A ripple of nervous laughter moved through the room. Someone near the back coughed. Whitaker's jaw tightened. Enough, he snapped. This has gone far enough. Dr. Reed hesitated, then spoke anyway. Grant, there's something else. She pulled up another diagnostic window, then another. Patterns emerged, undeniable once seen. Similar logic structures, similar mistakes, the same confusion repeating itself in different forms. Lily stepped closer, careful, as if approaching something fragile. Here, she said softly, and here, and here. Dr. Reed followed her finger, heart pounding. Each spot Lily indicated revealed the same issue. Instructions given where checks were needed, commands issued where conditions should have been tested. This can't be happening, Whitaker muttered. Actually, Caldwell said quietly, it explains a lot. The automotive executives leaned in. Ford's representative whispered urgently to his legal counsel. BMW's technical director stared at the screens, pale. If this logic exists across systems, he said slowly, your vehicles weren't just malfunctioning, they were guessing. The word hung heavy. Guessing, Lily nodded. Computers don't like guessing, she said. They get scared. Whitaker laughed harshly. Computers don't get scared. No, Lily agreed, but people do. The room went still again. Whitaker straightened, stepping between Lily and the screens. This is a billion-dollar company. We have procedures, protocols. You don't let a child wander through critical infrastructure. Caldwell raised an eyebrow. Are you saying she's wrong? Whitaker hesitated. That was the trap. I'm saying, he said carefully, that letting an unauthorized minor touch these systems is reckless. Dr. Reed glanced at Lily, then back at Whitaker. Grant, with respect, she's already right, and the fixes are measurable. Whitaker's phone buzzed, then buzzed again. His assistant leaned in, whispering urgently. Sir, social media is exploding. The stock's up 12% since the fix. Whitaker closed his eyes briefly. This wasn't supposed to happen. Lily noticed the tension tightening his shoulders, the way his hands curled into fists. She remembered that posture. She'd seen it before, on engineers who were cornered by problems they didn't understand. There's more, she said quietly. Whitaker snapped his eyes open. No. Yes, Caldwell said. There is. Dr. Reed swallowed. Lily, how many more places do you see this? Lily scanned the displays again, her small face serious now. Lots, she said. Once you see it, it's everywhere. A murmur spread, half excitement, half dread. Hundreds? BMW's director asked. Maybe more, Lily said. The easy mistakes usually repeat. Whitaker stepped forward sharply. That's enough. This is turning into a circus. Caldwell crossed his arms. With respect, Dr. Whitaker, this circus just saved lives. Whitaker's face reddened. You don't understand the implications. If we start rewriting systems based on a child's intuition and something goes wrong, we'll be liable for billions. Lily looked up at him. But if you don't fix them, people could get hurt anyway. The simplicity of it hit the room harder than any technical argument. Dr. Reed knelt beside Lily. How did you learn to see this? She asked gently. Lily shrugged. When my mom cleans windows, she checks the corners first. The edges. That's where dirt hides. Sarah felt her chest tighten. Whitaker laughed again, louder this time. This is absurd. Anecdotes aren't methodology. Caldwell's voice sharpened. Neither is arrogance. Whitaker's smile vanished. He straightened, smoothing his tie, eyes hardening with resolve. Fine, he said. You want to keep playing along? Let's make it interesting. He nodded to his assistant, who tapped a control. The main display shifted, revealing a dense web of architecture diagrams, code layers, and system maps stretching across every screen. This, Whitaker said, pride creeping back into his voice, is North Star's full infrastructure, transportation grids, hospital systems, financial platforms, everything. A collective intake of breath rippled through the room. 24 hours, Whitaker continued. Find and fix everything you think is wrong. All of it. Gasps. If you succeed, he said, eyes locked on Lily, I will personally write you a check for $100 million. The room froze. And when you fail, he added coldly, we announce to the world that your earlier success was luck, and you and your mother leave this building. Forever. Sarah stepped forward instinctively. No. Lily took her mother's hand, squeezing it gently. It's okay, Mom. Dr. Reed looked stricken. Grant, this is insane. Whitaker smiled thinly. So is letting an 8-year-old dictate corporate strategy. Lily stared at the screens, at the overwhelming complexity, the millions of lines of code. Her heart beat faster. For the first time since she'd spoken up, doubt flickered. Sarah knelt beside her. You don't have to do this, she whispered. Lily breathed in slowly, then out. I see the patterns now, she said. Whitaker's smile faltered. The clock appeared on the screen. 2:17 p.m. The countdown began. Hour 1 passed in tense silence. Lily didn't read line by line. She watched. She grouped. She searched for repetitions. By hour 3, she found the first cluster. Dr. Reed verified it, hands shaking. She's right. Hour 5, more patterns, more confirmations. By midnight, Lily's eyes were tired but sharp. Hundreds of errors identified, each fix improving performance, each result undeniable. Whitaker paced. She's exhausted. Sarah brought Lily a sandwich. Maybe you should rest. I'm okay, Lily said softly. I'm starting to understand how they think. Whitaker overheard. They, he repeated, scoffing. Hour 16. Lily found security vulnerabilities buried deep in a hospital system. Bad people could steal patient information, she said quietly. Whitaker dismissed it. Industry standard security. Dr. Reed ran deeper scans. Her face went white. Hour 22. Lily uncovered something worse. Backdoors, deliberate, hidden. Someone's been stealing from your computers, Lily said. Whitaker rushed forward, then froze. By hour 24, Lily had identified 847 errors. And something else. something that made Whitaker's breath catch in his throat. The room waited. 6 million people watched, and Lily sat quietly, exhausted, looking at a man who had tried to turn her into a joke, now holding proof that could destroy him. As the countdown reached 0, one question pressed itself into every mind watching, tightening the chest, slowing the breath. If a child could see all of this so clearly, what else had the adults been refusing to see? The room felt smaller once the clock hit 0, not because anyone moved, but because there was nowhere left to hide. Dr. Grant Whitaker stood frozen at the center of the boardroom, staring at the final report Dr. Allison Reed had pulled onto the main screen. The numbers glowed a calm, merciless green. Performance gains, error elimination, security flags exposed. Everything Lily Parker had touched was better, cleaner, safer. And the thing Whitaker hadn't expected, the thing tightening his chest now, was that the fixes didn't just work. They made sense. "This isn't possible," he said again, but his voice no longer carried authority. It sounded thin, almost pleading. "These vulnerabilities, these back doors, this has to be external sabotage." The room shifted uneasily. Mark Caldwell leaned forward, elbows on the table. "Then explain why the malicious code matches your internal coding standards." Whitaker's mouth opened, then closed. Lily looked up from her chair, her voice small but steady. "They write the bad code the same way they write the good code," she said. "Same spacing, same names, same mistakes." Dr. Reed's fingers flew across the keyboard as she verified it. When she stopped, she didn't look at Lily. She looked at Whitaker. "She's right," she said quietly. "The timestamps match our original builds. This wasn't an outside attack. This came from inside our own training process." The word process landed like a verdict. Whitaker felt the eyes on him now. Not curious, not impressed. Judging. "You taught your engineers to do this," Lily continued, not accusing, just stating. "You taught them to give confused instructions." For a moment no one spoke. Then Whitaker tried one last time to regain control. "Even if that's true," he said sharply, "fixing everything at once is dangerous. You could destabilize entire industries, hospitals, traffic systems, financial markets. Sometimes the responsible thing is to leave imperfect systems alone." Lily frowned, genuinely puzzled. "But if the systems are already confused," she asked softly, "won't people get hurt anyway?" The question cut deeper than any technical debate. Dr. Reed exhaled slowly. "She's right. The risk isn't fixing them. The risk is pretending they're fine." Whitaker felt the room slipping away from him completely. His board members avoided his eyes. His assistant whispered frantically about incoming calls from regulators, from federal agencies, from partners demanding explanations. Then the head of security rushed in, pale and shaking. "Sir," he said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "the system optimizations Lily triggered have exposed hidden data transfers. This has been going on for 18 months. Customer data, proprietary designs, everything." The word everything echoed. Caldwell stood abruptly. "You mean our data has been compromised this entire time?" Whitaker swallowed hard. We didn't know." Lily raised her hand slightly. "Is that why the computers were so slow?" she asked. "Because someone was using them without asking?" Dr. Reed nodded. "Yes, and if you hadn't fixed the confusion, we might never have seen it." Sirens wailed faintly outside the glass walls of the building. News helicopters circled overhead. The FBI Cyber Division was already en route. What had started as a product demonstration had become the biggest corporate reckoning of Whitaker's career. He looked at Lily then. Really looked at her. Not a prop, not a joke, not a threat. A child who had seen clearly when everyone else refused to. Whitaker stepped forward, his shoulders sagging. When he spoke again, his voice had changed. "I owe you an apology," he said, loud enough for the cameras for the millions watching live. "And I owe you the check I promised." Gasps rippled through the room. "Lily Parker," he continued, his voice breaking, "you didn't just save this company. You exposed failures we were too proud to admit. You protected lives. And you reminded us that intelligence doesn't come from credentials. It comes from clarity." The applause started slowly. Then it grew, filling the room, spilling into the hallways, echoing across screens around the world. Lily looked overwhelmed, her small hands folded in her lap. "It's okay," she said gently. "Grown-ups make mistakes too." Dr. Reed smiled through tears. "Because of her, We'll rebuild this company the right way. Outside the boardroom, the story spread faster than anyone could control. A child who outthought a billionaire. A quiet voice that refused to stay silent. Companies began talking about hiring fresh eyes. Universities debated changing how they taught problem solving. Parents everywhere looked at their children differently that night. But the most important change happened quietly. Sarah Parker wrapped her arm around her daughter, feeling something she hadn't felt in decades. Hope. Lily hadn't set out to embarrass anyone. She hadn't wanted power or praise. She'd only wanted to help confused computers do their job properly. And in doing so, she had shown the world something painfully simple. Sometimes the biggest problems survive because no one is brave enough to ask the obvious questions. As the cameras finally dimmed and the room emptied, one thought lingered, heavy and unavoidable. How many Lilies are sitting quietly in corners right now, waiting for someone to listen? Did this ending make you feel satisfied? Or did it leave you thinking about the times you were underestimated yourself? Do you believe the world would be better if we listened more to unexpected voices, yes or no? If this story moved you, comment 100 below. Tell us which country you're watching from, and share this video so more people hear it.